Well, time to do some cooking. Okay, I'm not really gonna get this. What not to get when you're doing keto. We're gonna go to Costco and we're gonna do a backwards haul where we get all the wrong things. But they're not just gonna be blatantly, obviously wrong things. They're gonna be things that you might mistakenly get if you're just starting a low carb or keto diet and you don't know exactly what to get. So we're gonna go in there and we're gonna shop incorrectly. And I'm gonna tell you why we're shopping incorrectly. Not to say that Costco is bad or these products are bad per se. There's just things that you should be paying attention to make sure you get the right things. All right, let's go hit the aisles first and then we'll finish up in the meat section. We'll try to move pretty quick so you don't have to spend an hour on this video. Trust me, you could probably spend 2 hours ripping apart food products. And I don't want to be a super negative Nelly all the time, but this is a chance for me to sort of flex my negative muscles a little bit and say, hey, don't get this, but I'll give you some solutions on what to get instead. We just won't go into the nitty-gritty of that. First terrible thing to get on keto is gonna be this perfectly good protein powder. It looks like it's nice and low carb, except look at all these ingredients. We've got whey protein concentrate, we've got all these different kinds of casein, egg albumin, gluten-free cookie crumbs with rice flour, sugar, tapioca starch, palm oil, cocoa powder. Oh, this is just a perfect thing to not get on keto. And it's 40 bucks. So you look at this and say, oh, this is not a bad price. Okay, let me give you the second best option here, or second worst option. Another person might say, oh, well, look at this, whey protein. But it's not. It's whey protein isolate plus whey protein concentrate. Not exactly what we're after. The one that you would want to get is this. So here we've got our first thing to not get. All right, so now I'm doing keto. I want to get my cheese crisps, so I'm gonna just grab whatever I can in the way of cheese crisps, and I'm gonna get these pepper jack crisps because that's a good price, $8.49 for that. Let me tell you why we're not getting this, but we're gonna get it because we're not getting things, or we're getting things that we're not getting. We're getting things that we shouldn't be getting. Cheese, salt enzymes, organic brown rice, organic oat bran, has a bunch of grains in it. That's not what we're after. Rice flour, onion and garlic powder, that's all good. But 7 grams of carbs, that's not gonna fly. Compare that to like an alternative. The Moon cheese is a much better one. So Moon cheese, we've only got cheddar cheese, and that's pretty much it. A little bit of coloring. So we're gonna get these because they're exactly what we shouldn't get when we're doing the wrong keto shopping. Oh, jerky, we could have some fun with this. Let's be realistic here. I could pick apart all of these, but let's say we're doing keto on a budget and we're looking at the prices here. So we got $9.99, $14.99, $13.99, $15.69, $9.99, $11.99. So let's look at, well, that's an expensive one. Actually, let's go with this guy. Pork jerky, that kind of looks good. Korean barbecue, 10 grams of carbohydrates, 10 grams of sugar. That would definitely be one that wouldn't work. Let's see, pork, we've got sugar, we've got water, Korean inspired seasoning, sugar, toasted sesame seeds, wheat-free soy sauce. That's a plus, at least we got that going for us. Definitely something we wouldn't want to get. However, let's elevate it just a tad. Most people know that 10 grams of carbs is not going to be keto friendly. So let's try to kind of find another wrong thing that doesn't quite have that blatantly obvious of a mistake. Okay, what about this Pacific Gold original beef jerky? Beef, brown sugar, water, salt, beef stock vinegar, yeast extract, which is basically MSG. And then we have onion powder, sugar, spice, canola oil. This is a better one to get because it's a better example of what someone might mistakenly get. I think that most people would look at this and say, that's a lot of sugar. This one, it's original. It would be a very viable mistake. You might be wondering, what am I going to do with all this terrible food that I can't eat? Haven't quite figured it out yet. We'll donate it, we'll do something, but it's not going to go to waste. Okay, fun fact, wisps would be a great one to get, but we're not getting good things right now. We're getting the wrong things. What do we have here? Coconut keto clusters. Let's check this out. Let's scoot down here so we don't hear the sample person. All right, so I don't know much about this one. Let's see, we've got organic coconut, pumpkin seeds, pecans, almonds, cane sugar, brown rice syrup, coconut butter, erythritol, flax seeds, sea salt, agave, 8 grams of carbs in a 1/16 of this bag serving. Come on. Who's gonna eat 1/16 of this, first of all? I'm sure it tastes delicious. You know what else tastes delicious? almond joys, but this isn't gonna really fly. I would not get this in my healthy keto haul. But if you were just doing keto for the first time, you were maybe watched one of my videos and you're like, I'm gonna do this thing. This guy knows what he's talking about. So you run to Costco, you get all your keto items, and you get this because it would viably happen. Now let's elevate the conversation a little bit here and let's look at nuts, because we all think nuts are perfect on keto, and generally speaking, they're great. But we know A, it's really easy to overeat them. B, there's a lot of different varieties. So what do I see in the kitchens or the pantries of people that are starting to do keto? A lot of times I see a bunch of mixed nuts, or I'll see a bunch of cashews. Let's kind of err on the side of caution and go with mixed nuts, because I feel like that's something that people would get. They might get these, which have pecans, some almonds, cashews, a little bit of macadamia nuts. There's some good nuts and some bad nuts. I would not recommend cashews on keto. They're exceptionally high carb. Okay, 6 grams of carbohydrates here, but this is a blend of cashews, almonds, pecans, Brazil nuts, and macadamia nuts. Plus they add some peanut oil, which is the most inflammatory omega-6 like nut legume that you could possibly have. Is it the worst possible keto thing? No, but this is one of the things that I would typically not recommend. But let's go all the way wrong. And let's just get a big thing of cashews. And let's not even go with the organic cashews. Let's just go, this is a great price on cashews. Look at this, $13.99. I love my cashews. I love keto. Well, okay. And then we keep chugging along. By the way, these Marcona almonds are a great choice because those are essentially almonds that don't have the skin, so there's gonna be less phytic acid. That means that those will absorb a lot better in your system as far as, sorry, we're getting some free advice here, I guess. Basically, you have less phytic acid, which means you have less chelation in the gut. You have less chelation of minerals, which means you're able to actually absorb the nutrients a little bit more when there's not the skin on them. So that's a good option, but we're not doing good options here. We're doing bad options. Here's a fun fact that some people have put it up in the comment sections before. When an item ends in 97 at Costco, it means that it's closing out. It means that that item is not gonna be at the store much longer. And I talked about this, I don't wanna beat something dead into the ground over and over and over again, but this was a great bargain and a great deal and a great product, and it's a shame to see it going. Okay, so here's another thing that someone might pick up when they're doing keto, because they're thinking fancy, okay? Garlic, herb, and olive oil. Okay, but we look at the first ingredient, which is almonds. Not the terrible end of the world. But then we have vegetable oil. That's what they use as an oil to roast them in. Canola and or safflower oil. They market it as having olive oil, but the olive oil is the last ingredient. So this would be a bad thing to get. Price-wise, it's not even the cheapest thing anyway. We already got our cashews, so I'm not gonna worry about getting this, but this would be something that I would not recommend getting. I would opt for something that's going to be more like a dry roasted, like these ones over here, which ends up being quite a bit cheaper per pound anyway. So here we get 2.5 pounds of dry roasted, where you don't have any of the additional vegetable oils, for 11 bucks versus $9.99 for 1 pound, 4 ounces. So worse bargain and worse for you. All right, so here we are in like kind of the granola aisle, things like that. I'm sure we'll find something that is pretending to be keto here, or something that might trick me. I'm trying to put my mind where I was 10 years ago when I first started keto. But the thing is that 10 years ago, there weren't as many like tricky food items, and there weren't as many like good items. Oh, here's some bars. This is a great one, right? The funny thing is, I'm gonna keep it abbreviated and keep it short. The Kirkland Signature bars aren't really that bad. Those are actually halfway decent on keto. And price per ounce, you get a good deal on them. But someone might look at these and say, I love these pure protein bars. They taste so good. And there's 17 grams of carbs. They probably are not gonna get that. It seems like they kind of limited their protein bar section. They used to have way more. So the point is, someone might get this as a keto item, and I would say it's probably gonna be okay. Like I've mentioned in other videos, you just run into this issue. Milk protein isolate is already gonna be a little bit of a bloat issue, plus a lot of fiber. Okay, 15 grams of fiber. But someone that is just starting keto, they might look at this and they might say, this is a great meal replacement. This would be okay to have as a treat now and then, not as a full-on meal replacement, please. Okay, I'm gonna get it because it's a perfect example of how we are just compiling this just pile of groceries that is really not, it's lacking the nutrition that we really want on a clean keto diet. We want fats on keto. We want lots and lots and lots of fats. And look at this price, $6.99 minus $2, $4.99. Wow, okay, cool. Look at all that. Perfect, low carb, and then we get to the ingredients. First ingredient, soybean oil. Soybean oil is a polyunsaturated fat that will break down very easily and go through what's called lipid peroxidation. It'll change the peroxidation value, and the free fatty acids will end up liberated in the fat before it ever ends up in your body, meaning it goes rancid very quick. And when I say rancid, I don't mean it just tastes rancid, it's having ill effects on your body. Not to mention all the other effects of soy we could talk about, but I'm mainly just talking about the quality of the fat. If you were to leave a fillet of fish out on the counter, it would start to smell bad in a couple of hours. Well, that's because it's a polyunsaturated fat that's very fragile. You don't necessarily see that with soybean oil as far as the smell, you don't smell that, but it's still going through the same denaturing. And when a vegetable oil goes through that process, it becomes quite toxic in the body. So a perfect example of what to get versus what not to get, they're right next to each other. We have Primal Kitchen, which is using avocado oil, organic eggs, egg yolks. Yeah, exactly what you really should be leaning towards. But we're getting terrible things right now, right? We're getting things we should not be really getting on keto. So I got my mayonnaise, I'm good there. Ooh, we could have a heyday over here. Ah, perfect. What did I got? I got my mayonnaise, I've got my premium chunk chicken breast, I can make myself a chicken sandwich, I can mix it all up. I don't want tuna, I want chicken because it tastes better. You know, plus this tuna is expensive. I want this chicken because it's cheap. Well, let's see. We got chicken breast meat, we've got water, seasoning, modified food starch, sodium phosphates, chicken broth, and natural flavors. If you have to add natural flavor to your chicken has a problem, okay? That's not what we really want to aim for, but I'm gonna get it because that's a good price and I'm doing keto and I'm just trying to lose some weight. Now, let me explain something. I would much rather you take the steps towards doing keto in the first place, even if you're doing it wrong. Anyway, so please do not take this as me telling you not to do this at all, okay? I don't want to scare you away from doing it. I don't want to be fear-mongering. This is supposed to be a little bit fun, a little bit funny, educational at the same time. And I'm trying to give you practical solutions on what to get instead, okay? So don't hate me on this. The fun thing is the chicken breast, the tuna, even the mayonnaise, these are all things, if you don't have access to healthier options, I highly recommend Thrive Market down below in the description. So Thrive Market is an online grocery store essentially. So like I get a lot of my pantry staples from them. They just deliver it right to my doorstep. A lot of times it's cheaper than the grocery store. It's not always cheaper than Costco, but they have much more of a variety. So Thrive Market is super convenient for that. Saves me tons of money because I don't have to go to the grocery store and it just gets delivered right to my doorstep. So there's a special link down below so that you can check out Thrive Market. You can also check out specific things that I recommend through Thrive. So things from my keto bundles, things through my intermittent fasting bundles, all those kinds of things, what I would get at the grocery store. So special link down below, check them out. Okay, what about the tuna here? I think I'm gonna only get the chicken because I don't need the tuna, but here's something that a lot of people might do. They'd say, even though it's expensive, they'd say, oh cool, we've got tuna in olive oil. That means it's going to be better. Let's see what's in this one. Actually, this is great. This actually does have legit olive oil. So I haven't looked at this one before. That's kind of nice. So we have solid, light, yellowfin tuna, olive oil, and salt. The thing is be careful because that's gonna be close to 300 calories there. So unless you are accounting for that fat, this could be a very fatal mistake because you compare that to, you know, what this is gonna be is probably like, what, 90 calories I can see over there? 200 more calories that you didn't really account for. And that's just in water versus oil. So just be very careful with that. I was trying to see if there was another tuna that might be in oil, but I don't necessarily see one. Albacore. Another mistake that people might make is they might go for albacore over chunk light because albacore is a higher quality, but it's not. Okay, it usually has a higher degree of mercury, higher degree of heavy metals. Chunk light is usually the way to go, even though it's cheaper and it's kind of the poor man's tuna. The poor man's tuna ends up being the better man's tuna in this case. Spam? I don't know if many people do keto thinking that they're gonna just indulge in spam, but you could, and it would work. Let's see, we've got Does it even say the ingredients, or does it need a special pamphlet for the entire ingredients that are in this? Let's see. Do you see one anywhere, Johnny? Well, don't get spam. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Let's see what's on the other side here. Okay. Let's see, we got some bacon crumbles. People are doing keto, they say, I can do this. But we've got water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrate. All right, bacon, you already have to be a little bit cautious with the kinds of bacon that you get, right? You want to be choosing the right ones. I usually say to look out for like sodium erythorbate, erythorbate, because that's already one that we kind of look out for. If it's bacon and it can't be in the refrigerated section, it's usually an indicator that it probably has some preservatives in it. It's a perfect example of what people might get. I'm not going to grab it because it's not super practical. You're probably going to just go buy flat out bacon from the refrigerated section, which we'll get to in a minute, but still something to keep an eye out for. I don't think people doing keto are going to buy extra amounts of vegetable oil and things like that. It's more so the amounts that you're going to find hidden in things. So I don't need to spend a lot of time in the oil department. I would say be very, very careful. Here's a fun fact though. Just recorded a video yesterday on avocado oil. Okay, now avocado oil just went through the ringer. UC Davis pulled 22 different avocado oils from supermarkets and from online retailers, and they did kind of their own undercover sting operation research protocol. They found that over 80% of the avocado oils on the market were either rancid or were mixed with other oils, and 3 of them were pure soybean oil marketed as avocado oil. Crazy, terrible, like illegal. It's not even illegal, it's technically legal because the standards are just totally whack. Completely unethical, should be illegal. Morally, ethically, I've lost so much respect for so many brands. 2 brands made the cut as actually being pure, authentic avocado oil. Guess which one of them was? Chosen Foods. It's expensive, but at least you're getting the real stuff. What good is it if you're buying soybean oil marketed as avocado oil? This is new facts. So thank you, UC Davis, for exposing this stuff, because they're the ones that originally exposed all the olive oil controversy decades ago too. So avocado oil, be very cautious, and grapeseed oil is not healthy, contrary to what people might say. So good quality dark sockeye salmon. Here we go. Thomas says eat salmon. It's rich in omega-3s. Thomas says eat a lot of it. So I'm going to get a big thing of salmon. Let's see. Here's one. Okay. Fresh farmed Atlantic salmon. 2 problems with that, and I'll point it out exactly. You want to go for the sockeye salmon. The deeper the red color, the better. Okay. The red pigment is something called astaxanthin, and it's a red pigment antioxidant that protects the fat in the fish from turning bad. So you want that protective antioxidant. The paler the fish, the worse it is. Usually, now again, Costco has great standards of being raised without antibiotics, so much better, but you just miss out on the good profile. There are studies that demonstrate that the difference between the omega-3 profile of wild-caught salmon versus farm-caught salmon is astonishing, astonishing. So we get this because it's still keto, it's still fine, but if you get the sockeye, it's a little less fat, but a higher quality fat, and more of the actual true astaxanthin red pigment that you want. Another issue that you run into if you consume a lot of this is you're just consuming flat out so much calories in the way of a low quality fat and less in the way of the protein. That being said, I mean, if you want to get it every now and then, it's totally not the end of the world. Okay, so we have $3.99 a pound for 88% lean. Now here's what's cool though. This 88% lean is pretty lean considering its bulk. If you were to buy big bulk like that at another grocery store, it would almost guaranteed be 80% lean. I tend to opt for the leaner cuts of meat because it's easier to control the amount of calories coming in. So that's $3.99 a pound. For $1 more a pound, you get this. You get organic, raised without antibiotics, no added growth hormones, where you actually have a little bit more of what's going on there. Okay. If you want to be a big spender and you want to get something good, this bison has really high standards as far as how it's raised. So I would recommend that. So what someone would probably get is they'd probably get that meat. I'm not gonna buy that meat because I'm afraid it would go to waste. The salmon, I feel like it's not that big of a deal to eat a little bit of it now and then, but let's see. What's in this breakfast link sausage here? Wow. Heck of a bargain there. Cooking instructions, let's see, what do we got? Pork, water, salt, dextrose, spices, flavorings. Wow, this is actually a very clean sausage considering. So I can't get that, it's too clean. Okay, so Thomas tells me I need to eat more protein, but he also tells me I need to eat fats on keto. So I guess that means I should be getting some chicken drumsticks or something. Well, here's some organic chicken drumsticks, but I want to find ones that are just really, truly fatty. Let's see. Oh, here's some. Let's see. And they're not organic. They're nice, good price. Let's see. We've got 99 cents a pound, baby. And we've got the skin on it too. Okay. So look at this. 180 calories. Most of the toxins and most of the antibiotics and most of the byproducts of the grain and the soy that are going through a chicken are going to end up resulting in its fat and in its skin. So in this case, I'm going for a drumstick, I'm going to end up having a lot of the fats coming through in that skin. I don't really want that. Now, if I look at that compared to, say, a drumstick that is, well, it's kind of funny. This one still has the skin, but look, just by shifting organic, we drop the calories, 10 calories. That's negligible. That just goes to show, like, you know, less fat marbling in the chicken. Trying to find an example of when you have like chicken thighs. Okay, so like here's regular chicken thigh. Look how much calories is in that. 250, 19 grams of fat compared to chicken thigh that doesn't have skin, 130. Look at the difference here. Okay, we've got 250 calories for 4 ounces versus 130 calories for 4 ounces. Okay, we have 19 grams of protein versus 22 grams of protein in boneless, skinless. So you're paying for skin and fat that is just adding calories and decreasing protein. You need more protein to drive up your metabolic rate on keto. Now, this is getting down to the granular here in a lot of things, but what I would see people probably get is they would probably get some of these, wherever they went. I don't know where I put them. They would probably get the drumsticks. Here they are. So let's go ahead and let's grab these because it's a perfect example. And I know some people that might eat them. So let's go see how much money we just spent doing keto the wrong way. And then we'll do a follow-up video on doing keto on a budget, and I'll show you how to do that as clean as you possibly can while still being on a really tight budget. I feel like I'm staring down the barrel of my mistress right now. Like, this is just not good at all. But $237 of pure just non-congruency with my real life. I don't, you know, the thing is that I have to be totally candid when I say a lot of the things at Costco are so clean that it's hard to actually get super dirty stuff at Costco for keto. Like, if you're keeping it within the parameters that you should as far as your macronutrients are concerned, there's actually not a ton of garbage at Costco compared to some of these other grocery stores. So I'm kind of pleased with this. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the dirtiest, this is like a 5. Now we're gonna load this up, give it away to some people. I'll probably eat some of it. I might, one of those beef frank hot dogs on a dirty day might not be too bad. Maybe some of that, let's see, maybe a cashew now and then won't hurt me. Problem is, if you have them in the house, you're gonna eat them. So I don't wanna do that. Take this off. Oxygen. So we'll figure out what I'm gonna do with all this stuff. The Bang energy drinks, there's a certain guy behind the camera that might like 1 or 2 of them so that he can stay up 48 hours straight filming with me. But anyhow, as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. I'll see you tomorrow.